We're here in London. First off, I mean, what's it like to be over here doing a press tour? I mean, obviously, you know, this isn't your home country, but you're here and you're getting a lot of love from the UFC. I mean, how's that?
Well, I fought 2 times in UK. I fought in Ireland before, you know, I think fighting on the same cards that Michael Bisping, both times. And, you know, it sets up a future fight maybe for him. Not when he's champion, maybe because they're not going to give me the next fight against Bisping. But let's say, if he has the belt or not, it's going to be happening, and I think it's going to happen sooner or later. So I think it's a good fight for the UK, and the sooner the better.
And probably the last time you were over here fighting, sort of earlier in the year, was obviously in February, March, when you were fighting in London, here in London. And that press conference almost feels like a turning point. You turned up at a press conference, you had a really loud shirt on, and you just seemed to completely come out of your shell and started talking a lot more than you're known for. What was it that prompted you to start speaking your mind a lot more?
Well, I'm just, you know, when people ask me questions, I'm just like, yeah, he's a great fighter. I respect him a lot. Nobody want to hear that. People want to hear, I want to punch him in the face. No, you know, I'm just talking about, they ask me and I give my real honest opinion. But before that, I would just try to give the answer that's correct, making everybody happy or something, I don't know. But obviously you cannot make everybody happy, so I'm just saying what I'm thinking. People love it or they hate it, but that's just being more myself.
Are you more comfortable and happier being able to open up like this rather than feeling like you have to be more politically correct?
Well, I was politically correct and it got me nowhere, you know. Why is Donald Trump now? They say he's the worst candidate ever, but people say we love his character, you know. I don't know. We see how it goes.
And you're in a bit of a strange spot right now. I mean, you know, you've had like 48 career fights. You're recognised as one of the best middleweights on the planet. But we've got this situation where Michael Bisping's a world champion, and we seem to have this mini tournament happening, which you're kind of on the outside of.
Yeah.
So, how are you viewing this middleweight picture right now, and how do you plan to sort of gate crash that? Because you're a little bit on the outside looking in.
Yeah, well, you know, I feel like, do I deserve to fight for the belt? I 100% believe that, because you know, it's just not the recent win. Or I got a whole career behind me. I fought different organizations, different titles, all from all around the world. So, you know, do I deserve to fight for the belt? Yeah. But just sometimes it's just circumstance and timing. Let's say Silva, when he was champion, he was going through all the contenders, all the different opponents. So now it's mixed. You don't have a steady champion that holds the belts for 10 consecutive defenses, you know, or something like that. So you have all the time new matches, new contenders. So it's a little bit all over the place, and it's just timing, you know. It's timing, and even Luke Rockhold, when he fought for the belt, he beat Michael Bisping, he beat the Team Butch, and he beat what was the other guy? The guy, Greek guy, that I also beat. Filippo. Yeah. So, and he fought for the belt. Is that a big resume to fight for the belt? Not really. When Chris Weidman fought Silva, he beat Mark Munoz. That was the biggest win of his career when he fought. So, you know, it's just timing, you know. But now the middleweight division is very tough. You have big names, all of them also ex-champions. In one win, they get ahead of a lot of people. And like I said, like Jacare and Yoel Romero, not speaking English, don't help. You know, those guys was on 5-6 winning streaks. They could have fought for the belt long time ago. But like I said, it's just not being the best guy who goes. Popularity all the time.
So given the fact you've got these 4 guys seemingly ahead of you, sort of scrapping it out to try and get the next shot, and given the fact that you've had a long career already, are you setting a personal deadline on when you feel you should be getting a title shot? I mean, you used to fight a light heavyweight as well. Has that option ever occurred to you to maybe jump back up, because the title picture seems a little clearer than it is at 185?
No, we thought about to go 205 just to get a fight. to fight as soon as possible. For me, it's not important. We were thinking, you know, the fight has to make sense. You know, I can go in there fight. What's his name? He's fighting Michael Johnson.
Rumble Johnson.
Rumble Johnson. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. So it has to be a fight that's gonna make sense for me. And but I'm open at 205. You know, but I'm not gonna go there and be a contender. Just a fun fight and just to keep me busy.
You mentioned Anderson Silva in your post-fight interview after your most recent win. Is that the fight that makes most sense to you, and has there been any response from the UFC following that?
100% it makes sense for me, because let's say I fight Joe Romero. I think he has a much worse matchup for me than Anderson Silva. But let's say I beat Joe Romero. People are not going to give me credit, because Joe Romero, the big audience don't know him. But Anderson Silva, let's say, he's 41. If I beat him, people are going to cheer and, oh, next guy and blah blah blah. You know, it's just not fighting. It's just being smart who you're fighting. You know, people don't understand that. Some people are gonna write some comments, but I don't have time to explain everything to this guy. People, you know, they don't know about fighting business. It's not like I said. Manny Pacquiao, when he fought Mayweather choose the gloves, choose the place where they fought, choose which. If they would have fought a couple years ago, 5 years ago, Manny maybe would have won, because I think he was at his best. But you know, it's just not. When people just see what they want to see. It's just a lot of. You have to be not just be a good fighter. You have to be smart who you fight, when you fight, and what the circumstances are. So you know, I learned that. You know, I thought I'd fight anybody, anytime, but they're not gonna love you for that.
And talk to me about Michael Bisping. Obviously, he's our world champion. He's the first world champion we've ever had in the UFC. What do you make of him as a fighter, and the way that he's come back from a lot of knockbacks in his career to become a world champion?
Well, you know, I feel Michael Bisping has always been a clean fighter. He's a fighter, you know, because you've seen he's shown heart. You know, you've seen him having setbacks, coming back. You've seen him being knocked down. He comes and fights again, having big cuts. He just keeps fighting, you know. You can't take anything away from him as being the champion. He deserves it. And as a person, I like him. He's a nice guy.
And one of the things you spoke about, I think it was at the Open Workouts, actually. You were asked about your position in the rankings, and you were the betting favourite over Vitor, even though Vitor was ranked four or five places above you in the rankings. What's your opinion, and what are the fighters' opinions of the UFC rankings? I mean, do they serve any purpose, and what do you think should be done to make them more relevant?
Well, it has a purpose if you're #1 guy or #2, #3, and you're fighting someone at #10. Then it's a little bit, if the difference is very big. But let's say Anderson Silva has lost 4 fights. He's still #6. He's been 1 year off. He was 1 year off. He's been caught for steroid. He's #6. And you know, if some other guy he would have been top 20. You know, it's just people have to be realistic about it. And that was.
I was going to say, you mentioned the steroid thing, and you know, one of the newish developments in the sport is the fact that we now have this USADA drug testing, and I know it's something that you spoke about in the post-fight press conference in Manchester. How much of an impact do you think that's having, and especially on your weight class?
Well, you know, I think I've been dominating everybody since USADA. After the Jacare fight, I think I look good in all my fights. I've been dominating technically or physically. I don't feel like I was in any position that I wasn't able to come out or whatever. So, you know, I'm gonna only look better, because you know, when you have evenly matched up guys and when you have that advantage, it's big. But let's say now they don't have that advantage, I'm gonna look good, because I don't feel like I'm coming short physically or technically on any of these fighters. So it's just gonna be, I'm gonna look better as the fight's gonna come, and it's good. It's good.
And given the position that you're sitting in right here, right now, how realistically, how long do you think it's going to take you to actually get that title shot that you're so desperately after?
Well, you know, I don't know. I think one more fight. One of those guys gonna fight for the belt. I think 1, 2, 4, and then one of the winners gonna stay and has to wait for a long time. So maybe I can fight that guy, and then I will be the contender next. But you know, I don't know if they am popular enough to sell pay-per-views or not. So maybe they're not gonna give me that fight. So it doesn't make sense for me to fight some guy only if they guarantee me I'm gonna get a title shot. Then it makes sense to fight, because then I'm gonna risk it to get the belt. But you know, they don't. Isn't how you say? Difficult. But I have to win the fight. The next fight, that's very important, and I'm right up there.
Have you got a bit of an eye on those two middleweight fights that are taking place, and are you sort of training on the off chance that maybe one of them might fall out of that fight? If that happened and the UFC asked you to step in, are you in a position to do that? Would you do that?
No. You know, I made those mistakes before. Like I said to the UFC, I don't feel like fighting when they approached me for Jacare fight. You know, I said I'm done. I had the surgery. I've been recovering on my knee, and then I've been fighting a lot. So I don't feel like it. And then the fight got also postponed 1 month later and was in a small cage. You know, Jacare won that fight. I'm not. He clearly won. I'm not saying it, but you know, I'm not gonna go and train hard and then maybe I have a fight or not. I'm risk it because I'm not training for those guys. Why should I risk it? If they give me a full camp, 3 months, I fight. They give me an opponent, I fight. I train for it. But why should I risk just jump in and maybe not when I'm not in 100%. You know, it's just being smart. Give me one of those opponents 3 months ahead, and I train for it. I'm not gonna go train and then the fight doesn't happen, and then I have a fight, and then I've been training for 5, 6 months, and then I don't feel like training. You know, I have to be hungry. So all I need to know is when my fight is going to be, so I can take a rest or keep training.
Right. How frustrating was that loss to Uriah Hall, and how damaging has that been to your prospects? Do you think you'd be right up there right now if it wasn't for that? Yeah,
definitely. You know, I think I would have been on a 6 winning streak if that fight didn't happen. I talk bad about Uriah Hall all the time, but I don't dislike the guy. He won the fight fair and square. But do I feel like I was the better fighter and it set me back? Yeah, I'm upset on myself. It has nothing to do with Uriah Hall. But you know, is that the fight I wanna prove that I am the better fighter and then go from there? Yeah, definitely. You know, but I don't know if the UFC want to make that fight.
Okay, and fast forward at sort of 12 to 18 months, where do you see yourself, and what's the roadmap for you to get to where you want to be?
I think they're not going to give me, if I win the next fight, I don't think they're going to give me a title shot, but let's say if I win, best scenario, they give me an end of the year fight for the belt, and you know, I'm pretty sure if I fight for the belt, I'm going to win it. Brilliant. I just need to get that fight, but you know, I feel like I have everything to be the champion.
And last question, we were over in Rotterdam a few months ago. It was a fantastic event. The fans were awesome. You know, the atmosphere was superb. There's talk of going back to the Netherlands again next year, possibly Amsterdam. How much would it mean for you to be either in a headlining fight or a co-headlining fight in, you know, somewhere like the Amsterdam Arena next year?
Well, you know, UFC now they show it on Fox Holland. You know, the sport is big. When UFC comes, they have some local fighters. They put an event. The sport grows there, and I think the kickboxing is not there anymore. You used to have a lot of K1 fighters, but that's dead. So UFC coming. It's new, people love it, it's on TV, it's going to do very well. So 100% if they have a show there, I would love to fight. And I think it's going to be the same, even better, because this time it's going to be in Amsterdam. And the last event was sold out, this is going to be sold out. I think it's UFC, knows what they're doing. So they're probably gonna come back, but just know I have to know the dates, and I would love to fight them.
Title fight in the main event, Abby, right?
Yeah, that would be great, but that's that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe yeah. No, it's gonna be. I need a fight before that, and then I don't think the champion gonna come to defend the belt in Holland. But you know, I just need to win. One more win, two more win, and then I'm the contender. So just need to focus on winning.
Great stuff. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.